It's fourth quarter, and in Mr. Peterson's class, fourth quarter means Shakespeare, and it's some of the most exciting, fun things we do in my class. And I thought I would share it with you because you might want to try it in your class. So when we read Shakespeare in 7th grade English, the students do a grid of projects. And when I take polls at the end of the year, and I ask students, what were your favorite parts of the class? Almost half the class says it was the Shakespeare. And a lot of that is because of the grid of projects. It lets students have choice, it lets them manage their own time, and it lets them use a lot of creativity. And so a lot of other teachers do this. I know Garnett does it, but basically what it is think about what you'll be doing in the next month or two. See if you can break it into 4 or 5 big units, and then you're going to create fun projects for their units. So when I read Shakespeare, there's 5 acts to the play, and so I make kind of a bingo card of projects, and there are 5 rows, there's 5 weeks, and then there's 5 columns. And the trick is that the students need to do one project per column and 1 per week. 1 per row, 1 per column. And so here are the due dates, and maybe this is April 7th, April 14th, April 21st, April 28th, May 5th. So I'm just kind of making up dates. And you can put a couple empty weeks in there if it feels like a lot of work, but roughly 1 project due per week. And students have to do 1 per week. The columns are different categories of projects. And so my first column is always an essay because I want students writing in my class. And so having something written in the first column is great. Column 2 is like a performance, something that the students have to do in front of others. Column 3 is something that they create. Column 4 is something they research. And then column 5, I love this, is skip. So we all know that students are really busy and sometimes they get overloaded. Well, make one of the choices a skip week. And so when there's a week where they're not feeling excited or they have a lot going on, they can rest. And the trick is to make up projects to fill all of these categories. And so since I have 5 acts, Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, Act 4, Act 5, I think of essay questions and projects that the students can do that that coordinate with each act of my Shakespeare play. For you, these can be different aspects of a big mathematical concept. It can be different lessons in a science unit. It can be different events in the historical era. It can be different characters in a Bible passage. There's a lot of different, you can adapt it to what you're doing in your class. And so thinking of 5 written prompts, 1 for each part of your unit, would go in the first column. Second column, something that the students can show off. This could be making a podcast. This could be making a TED Talk. This could be if you could interview a fictional character about the topic of the week. You could record that like a radio show or film it like a television interview. But that could be really fun. Create, well, in my class, this is creating props and designing sets and things like that. For yours, it could be build a model, it could be to sketch out a floor plan, it could be to draw out a demonstration. And so have them draw or build or mold something that corresponds to each of the lessons. Research, do a little background, maybe famous mathematicians, maybe go online and research a minor character in the historical events of the unit. In mine, Shakespeare mentions a lot of mythology, and he mentions a lot of Greek and Roman gods, but also some books from that time. And so I have the students do the research because Shakespeare's audience, they would have learned those stories in school, but our students don't know that. And then skip is what it seems. They can just take a break. When you launch this to the students, they can plan out their projects, but it's really careful to emphasize to them 1 per row, 1 per column, because some students will want to avoid the essay and only do creative projects, but you can only do 1. And you have to pick your favorite. I tend to make my projects the easiest ones, the less time consuming go at the top, most time consuming go at the bottom, because they have a little more to plan. And so, for instance, for performance, making an Adobe Spark video would go in week 1 because it's super easy. That you just open the app. The app works with the student's normal login. The normal Google login works with the Adobe Spark video app, and the student types in a topic, and the app feeds them pictures, and then they do a voiceover. Week 4 or 5, that would be something more appropriate for like a doing a little skit or even a stop motion video, because those take a lot of time. One of these columns, I was thinking for some of your classes, maybe make it a what if. Like, we've studied a topic in physics. What if there were no gravity? Or what if George Washington was never born? Or what if an alien invaded? You could mix it up and have the students retell the story or reteach the lesson if one aspect of the lesson were changed. That could be kind of fun. When I do this in class, the students just turn in their essays, and when they skip, they just tell me they're skipping. But everything else, they perform this in class, and they show off their work for their friends because, and I'm sure you've noticed this, when the students are turning something in just to the teacher, they give it the minimum effort, but when they're doing something in front of their friends, they do the maximum effort. Well, now that we're teaching remotely and we can't perform in class, that's when I'm going to use Flipgrid. And so I'm going to create a different, I'm going to create a Flipgrid for each class, and then within each class's kind of package, I'll make a grid for each of these weeks, and then students will film themselves doing a quick video showing off their hair and makeup for the Shakespeare play, or their set design, or their props. And Flipgrid's nice because you can set the time limit. You can keep it short, like 2 minutes, because who wants to grade 100 10-minute projects? But they can also, the students can view each other's projects, enjoy each other's work, give them little compliments and thumbs up and stickers, and even film their own responses of encouragement. And I would encourage them to make them positive. And an awesome aspect is that Flipgrid just added a screen record option. So if a student makes a slideshow for their research, they can do a screen record and show off their slideshow. And that's also very good for students who might be a little camera shy and don't want to have their face on the camera. They can aim their camera down at their desk or do a screen record on their iPad. Right? So I hope this gets your creative juices going. I hope you think about doing a grid of projects and a little bingo card of projects. And if you want some help, let me know. I'd be happy to help you brainstorm.